You cannot start writing just one day. You begin writing, it is not possible. You have to practice it. This is why I keep on saying do note down, just to get the flow of writing. It is not to punish you. You are in achievements class, management level. Punishment cannot be inflicted, and neither do I want to. But when I say note down, I mean that you should develop the handwriting. You should develop the art of writing. बाकी आपकी इच्छा है. Hatch cleats are very important. Just leaving out chains and rollers is okay. Hatch cleats. These are very important because they are the ones which will actually seal the hatch. Seal the hatch means not by any foam or something. They are going to put the hatch covers in place and then close it out. Hatch cleats. So this also is part of PMS. You have to examine hatch cleats, including the ones on the sides and also on the top, which are called the cross joint cleats. They should not be done with bar tight or a pneumatic spanner because that can cause damage to the compression bar, not on the compression bar, on the rubber seal. Weather permitting, hatch cleats must be examined every day to see that they are still tight and have not become loose because of vibration or maybe motion of the vessel. This is a diagram or a photograph of the hatch cleats. These are side cleats. They are called quick acting cleats. That is the name given to them. QAC, quick acting cleats. They're quite simple to operate. You put a handle over here. Let us say it is opened out. So this is a opened out cleat. The head is over here hanging. You insert the handle, lift it up, and then close it by moving the head towards this side. Then the cleat falls in place. Please remember this part is possible to tighten. There is a nile stop nut over here. You can rotate and tighten it, but it should be only done with a hand, not with any pneumatic spanner, because then you will not get an idea how much you are tightening. This is how it looks from the side. In normal open position, this will flop over here. It will be just flopping over here. So you put the handle inside, lift it up and turn it against the side. Then the cleat is closed. If you see the cleat loose, you can turn this nile stop nut to tighten it. But very carefully because over tightening is going to destroy the cleat as well as the hatch cover. Hatch cover seal. As we had said, the compression bar is running here. The pad is inside, the sealing is inside, the seat is inside, and it should not happen that you tighten so much that you make a groove in the seal. Then of course there are more types, side rolling covers like this, going here and here, and close using cleats. These are all cleats, this one, and on top. They're all cleats to make it sit. This is an example of damaged rubber packing. As you can see, the compression bar has made a groove here. which is not correct. The compression bar, if I can use the word, has eaten into the rubber packing. Just 1 minute, we start again sharing, that is. You can have movements of the hatch cover and seaway, that is understood, but this is going to have an effect on the cleats also. The movement of the hatch cover uh, inadvertent because of the motion of the vessel, and it will have an effect, of course. Static condition, secured, cleat is there, everything looks good. Top cleat is also in place. In dynamic motion, in seaway, all this is going to happen. The cleat is also going to get distorted, not to such an extent that you can notice it, but it will have an effect. Now the cleats are supposed to restrict movement of the pontoon. So top cleat is going to vary like this. Exaggerated, of course, but just to make sure that we comprehend that in a seaway and in static condition, the motion of the vessel is going to cause some distortion of the cleat itself. Now, whether tightness is obtained when compression bar sits into rubber packing. Please remember, seats only, not get grooved. That is not correct. It should just make contact with the compression bar, should just make a contact with the rubber packing, then the weather-tight seal is obtained. This is, of course, just showing you how it is going to sit across. And there will be different types of linear rubber packings used. depending on the maker. Just some diagrams trying to show you drain walls, the channel itself, compression bar, where the hedge cover is sitting. Let's go further. There is a diagram here also. Yeah. This is not important. Let's go again. Okay. Closing procedure, opening procedure as per the manufacturer's manual, but obviously you will develop a procedure for customized shipboard operation, which is also a part of ISM. Some things to remember: clean off residues, you know, build suction, sounding pipes, all should be clear of debris, no unwanted or cargo residues remaining. Bilge pumping arrangement should be tested and non-return valves, because the bilge itself has a non-return valve. It is only meant to pump out and stop any ingress, even if it comes out from engine room pipeline. So there is a non-return valve that also has to be overhauled periodically by PMS, non-return valve. Of course, some minor points, but equally important, because inadvertently you can miss out on them. Before you say that it is all completed, all the equipment should be removed so that this will not hinder into the weather tightness itself. Not a good idea. You got debris all around. Hold lights should be switched off when not in use. And it is a good idea to remove, isolate, electrical isolation for hold lights inlaid in passage to avoid any sparking. Whether or not the cargo is sensitive to it, it should be done as a habit. So some precaution you can always undertake for hedge operations. Basic points are there. Apart from the maker's operating instruction, you have some basic points. Officer of watch is in copy. Do not use more than one set of hedge cover panels at one time to keep a good effective control. Hatch cover panel storage area should be free, means where the hatch cover is going to pile up. That area should be free of any people, equipment, or damage to avoid any accident. This is possible to use a towing wire hooked onto a crane, ship's crane, and then pulled on this one to bring the panel up. It is possible. It is used many times. Especially if the hydraulic system has failed, then this can be a way to open it. Before you actually do it, this is a very vital part, which is disengage all cleats in position. This should be done. Many accidents have taken place because the cleat was already there and the hedge pontoon was operated. Crew members should be used to position themselves in all sides of the hatch opening to monitor it. One person is standing here, the other one is standing here, and this should be equipped with radios, walkie-talkies, so that this can be monitored. If there is wobbling there, hatch cover is moving, wobbling, the wheel is not in correct position, it can be conveyed to stop the operation. This is the combing part, this is the track part, and what are these? What are these called? They are strengthening members, of course, for the combing. In all ships, in all bulk carriers, if you happen to sail, this is the part which can give way. You have to examine for cracks underneath this. These are load bearing, they can give way. So best method to do it for opening and closing is to start slowly. Once everything seems to be in order, then you can increase the speed. This is because an attempt is being made to clear obstruction, insertion of hand. Very, very wrong, of course. No need to point out to you. You will be safer enough to realize this. After actually opening, then this has to be secured. There can be a clamp which has to be inserted to keep this in place so that inadvertent movement is prohibited. The hatch doesn't roll off. This can be mentioned in your answer. Safe operation of hatch covers. Could be part 3, could be question number 3. 1 and 2, and then 3 could be any question like this. Safe operation of hatch covers, EMS involved, which could be safety as well as cargo work. Or you could have a question based on hatch cover maintenance. How it is cost effective for a ship owner, like this, examples of questions. This is also important, you see, to stop any fall incidents, etc. These should be installed. Stanchions with handrails. Handrails with wire, so that nobody slips inside. Very, very important point. Portable handrails For closing, of course, the reverse is there. To close, first clear everything. Debris, cargo, everything should be swept or air blown. Keep it clean so that the hatch cover will sit down. Rest are more or less, for information only. I'm very sure you are aware of them, but since we are on the topic, that is why I'm going through it. Any damage, compression bar, landing pads, you must check. If required, then you have to repair it before you close them. हाँ जी बोलिए. Somebody has come up with something. Most welcome. You see, we ensure that portable handrails are fitted when opened. This is also important. Remove them before you start closing. You see, instead of this in cargo work, maybe you will have a question in safety which says develop a SOP for proper closing of hatch covers on bulk carrier. Maybe you have a question like this, standard operating procedure for closing of hatch covers on a bulk carrier. So this will, all these points will figure over there, standard operating procedure. Of course, we have to do that topic in safety, but standard operating procedure. So all these points will become part of standard operating procedure. Some other points important. Hydraulic system अगर use हो रहा है, then you have to ensure oil tank is kept filled to the operating level, and of course with the correct oil grade. If hydraulic system is being used for opening closing, then you have to first make sure that oil tank is full or at the operating level. We can see a gauge here. Maybe you have an overhead gravity tank which will fill up अगर ये कम हो रहा है तो. Of course, unguarded openings should be avoided. This is not really a good idea. Jumping or trying to view the whole contents over the combing with the hatch cover fully open. This is a clear invitation to accident. Of course, nowadays you do not have twin decks, but if you have, then you have to make sure the twin deck hatch cover cleat mechanism is engaged at all times when the pylons are closed. This is a twin deck. It has got its own hatch cover closing mechanism which should be done prior to closing the top part. We had talked about this, no harm in repeating. Never open hatch covers at sea unless absolutely necessary. Because if you open hatch covers at sea, what you are doing is you are making a hole in the deck. just a hole. You are inviting weather to get in. Unless absolutely necessary, do not open them. Do not use pneumatic spanners to tighten cleats. That is not good because this can cause weld failures or lead to leaks. If you are using pneumatic tools, it is not a good idea. Then, of course, these are points which you remember, you know them. Placards to be depicted, do not close when working inside holes. Instructions very clear. Maybe this can go in the CCR also. Accidents do happen and will continue to happen because it's a high risk area. ये क्या करना चाहता है blast. ये तो खैर अब almost taken care of है. Everybody understands the no smoking thing. And of course, weather tight integrity should be checked time to time and also as per the plan. Weather tight integrity. I can show you some relevant pics for this. Manual covers and hatch covers. Cleanliness, coating integrity, moving parts, securing bolt, cleats, etc. are always to be ascertained for performance. Corrosion or mechanical, cracked welded welds. This is what is ascertaining using this meter for continuity of structure. Random sampling, scandaling is being ascertained, which may be part of a survey. Continuous hull survey, CHS. Now sounding pipes can suffer damage. Sounding pipes or you know vent pipes passing through holes can suffer corrosion holes when like this. When you have something like this, ingress can take place. Suppose this is a vent pipe which is passing through the cargo hold and you are ballasting that DB tank. If you happen to overflow, this hole is going to provide clear facilitation to ingress of water inside the hole. So this has to be examined by you as chief officer or maybe your duty officer if you assign him, delegate him that, and this is done at every opportunity after discharge. This how this can be caused. Simple. Maybe a cargo handling equipment damage. Maybe a bulldozer has struck it over here. This should be noticed. It should be immediately attended to. Not only that you make a stevedore damage report, SVDR, also you will need to repair this at pronto, at the first available opportunity, because this is going to lead to some damage now or sometime later. The arrows are actually pointing out to the places which are susceptible to corrosion damages. As I said, this is a place where you do have to examine on old ships. Most of the welded stuff gets cracked over here. This is welded on deck, this is the combing, and this is a stay. It is a stay which keeps the combing or adds to the strength of the combing. Now, at the bottom part of it, you can have cracks due to wearing SFBM stresses.
सर स्ट्रिंजर इनको बोलते हैं.
किसको? स्प्रिंग जॉइंट क्या बोलते हैं? सॉरी,
स्ट्रिंजर.
स्ट्रिंजर.
हाँ यस सर.
Not exactly. These are actually called stays, hatch combing stays. Just give me a minute. Let me write it out for your understanding. This is how they are addressed. Stays. एक मिनट. Just give me a minute. You said stringent. Let me just locate if I have a photograph to that effect. इसकी बात कर रहा हूँ. These are the stays on the hatch combing. ये वाले. These are only going to add to the strength of the hatch combing because there is a lot of mechanical stress on the hatch combing because the movement of the pontoon, and finally the pontoon is going to sit here. So these are added as stays to facilitate strengthening of the combing. जो आप बात कर रहे हैं स्ट्रिंजर की, that is located in DB tanks, on crossweb joints, etc. Stringers. Even in hatches you have, in holes also. If we come across a photograph, I'll show you. On the side, you may have that. एक मिनट. Now I can find it actually. ये देखो, can you see this diagram? Picture. This is a stringer.
Okay.
This one. While this is again a stay on the longitudinal. This is a stringer. This is badly corroded, definitely. I think from our last class about compression bar, edge combing, rubber gasket, you can correlate this. This could be easily followed. You see here the gasket is making contact with the compression bar, which is here, compression bar. It should not eat into it, just the contact to make it weather tight. Please remember, like this cleat is there, has quick acting cleat is there. अगर आप इसको बहुत टाइट कर दो, firstly you're going to compress the bar, rubber gasket onto the bar. तो यहाँ पे ग्रूव बनाओगे. Moreover, it is possible that you may tighten it so much that the hatch cover is also grooved inside the combing top. यहाँ पे एक उसने groove बना दिया. It is a permanent damage. And of course, this is not going to happen overnight. Over a period of time, when you do it every day, every time you are tightening cleats, you tighten too much without taking into consideration these things can result. This is not going to happen as a rocket science overnight, but over a period of time. You can actually end up grooving combing top also. And compression bar, of course, will come into the rubber gasket. Both the causes are going to lead to non-weather tightness of the hatch cover. Okay, this is something we are going to do differently. That is something left to be done. Very importantly, the checking of the weather tightness, hatch cover weather tightness, the checking procedures is something I'm going to take up, not today because I don't want to rush through it. I think I have a class again tomorrow. That is where we will pick up checking of the weather tightness or testing of hatch covers. I think we have a class tomorrow. Morning only, I think 9 o'clock maybe.
Yes.
सर
Right.
इसके नोट्स आप भेज दें सर इसके.
हाँ भेज दूंगा, चिंता नहीं.
ओके सर.
भेज दूँ. Not immediately, but I will send it. Don't worry.
यस सर. ओके.
हाँ कि मैंने आपको कुछ भेजा है. I'm not sure आपको या फेसबुक को. Anyway देखते रहना, वो लिंक पे आएगा जो भी आएगा. ठीक है. I will send it. No problem. But not immediately as I say. From Solas, these audible alarms, what we were talking about, have to be located on bridge, navigation bridge, so that was heaving officer is aware that there is a water and gas problem. Something you will have to remember also. Let me see इसका टाइटल क्या है. Weather tight and water tight. Okay, ये आपके पास जाना चाहिए. You should have this, especially the definition of weather tight and water tight, because many parts you will come across this even in the oral exam. So tell me if you got any issue with what we were doing. Care of hedge covers, preparation for closing opening, except for the check of weather tightness, host test, etc., which we are going to start tomorrow. Anything up till now?
सर मेंटेनेंस ऑफ हैच कवर्स में क्या क्या पॉइंट एक बार शॉर्ट में प्लीज बता दो
Say again.
सर ये मेंटेनेंस ऑफ हैच कवर्स में क्या क्या पॉइंट लिखेंगे
I will send you. आप compile करो. I will send you. I'll send you the note. Then you practice compiling it. We have discussed
Okay.
it. ठीक है मैं भेजूंगा आपको. You will get it on your link. Then you try to compile something, which will help you to formulate an answer also. You will learn how to formulate answer. Okay. चलो. अभी के लिए anything else you want to raise? You may respond to this poll feedback. It will take care of this session, and we meet again tomorrow morning.